Good morning, my ladies and gentlemen, my people, my good people, my skinny people, my fat people, my people are people, my less people that are people. Welcome back. I'm glad to be back. It's been a long time. I kind of miss myself, I haven't done this in a while. I kind of miss my face. I haven't seen myself in the mirror in a long time. Speaking of seeing yourself in the mirror, today we're going to talk about body positivity. Is it body positivity really body positivity? I have a tongue twister. Why am I having a hard time to speak? I don't know. Okay, let's just continue on the video and then we're gonna discuss what are my thoughts about body positivity. So follow along, sit tight, get your 3D glasses because this video is not about 3D, but it's gonna shock you in a very impactful way. So what is it? So let's start with the definition. The body positivity movement is a social movement that encourages acceptance of all bodies regardless of appearance, size, gender, skin tone, and physical abilities. It started movement in 1960, emerging in activities beginning challenging widespread of fat shaming, narrowing beauty standards, meaning that these people were kind of tired of the typical standard of like, oh, if you don't have a size, T shape, or all that stuff, then you're not pretty. And they were like, bro, there are more beautiful people. All right, we're all in shape and sizes, and I consider myself beautiful, even though nobody else does, which makes me probably live in denial. Denial is a river in Egypt, and I'm drowning on it like I'm drowning in diabetes. Why obesity affects so many people? So obesity is characterized on excessivity of body fat accumulation, possesses significant health risks, affecting various body systems. The typical cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, respiratory issues, muscular disorders, certain cancers, mental health conditions, and worst of all, listen to this. Apparently, a data on the early 1960s, roughly 40 to 45% of adults were overweight. By contrast, in another study they did was that in the 2010s and early 2020s, about 7 to 75 of adults fall into overweight or obese category within the US. Adult population are around estimated 200 to 280 million. That percentage means that roughly 175 to 210 million adults are now overweight. Jesus Christ, are you guys okay? Like, how do you breathe? Oh my goodness. Listen, I don't judge, okay? This channel is not about judging, but Jesus Christ, how are you guys breathing? Like, that's 75% of the population of the US. I mean, I guess the food that we eat, but like, that's too much. I mean, I noticed that I'm getting fatter though. I have to admit, I have like a little belly, so I do have to admit that I'm getting fatter as well. I'm joining the cult. There's also a stigma apparently that a lot of people that are overweight are facing, and that this stigma is in a way making them even worse. And obviously, yeah, of course, like, you're being judged by everyone. You feel like you're being judged by everyone, and that just makes you feel worse. And some people just go back again, and the only way of comfort is by eating more. So it's like an ending cycle. Like, I have to eat to feel better, but then the very thing that makes me feel better is actually making me feel worse because it's creating stigma. And I find it strange because there's a video right now that I'm going to show a clip.
That no matter her medical problem, doctors always focused on her weight, and that society did too. She felt this fixation was making her less healthy, not more.
I think it goes back to lack of understanding. And that lack of understanding regarding obesity is on the part of all individuals, physicians, other healthcare providers, the general population. They think it's a lifestyle choice. Unfortunately, this is completely false. There are over probably 100 factors that contribute to body size, the bacteria in one's gut, medications that lead to weight gain. And the biggest factor is genetics. If we have parents that have obesity, the likelihood that we ourselves will have obesity is on the order of somewhere between 55 to 85%. That is even with optimal behaviors.
Yeah, but no, not really, because yes, if you live in a house where everybody's, overweight, chances are you're going to be overweight as well. Not because, it is a genetics thing. It is mostly it's because you grew up in that environment. I mean, when you look at an obese kid and you look at obese family, you notice that they always spend so much money on fast food, on all that stuff. I'm not trying to be, rude or anything. I just really noticed that they have a pattern within them that they don't notice. They think that it's normal to eat this much, like on a daily. And sometimes even I just sometimes just eat once a day. Like you don't need to eat like 3 times a day. You don't need to eat all that stuff. But some people do, and that's her lifestyle, and you can tell by the weight. It's kind of controversial. I know it could be possible that genetics play a role in it, but we have to admit the grand majority of people who are overweight are not because of genetics. It's because of their lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. The way that you eat is a lifestyle, and I don't think it's about a positivity because. And now we're gonna go at the end of the video. True body positivity, it's when you have something within your body that you cannot change. Meaning that you were born with it, or you went through something that already scarred your body, and you have to live with that for the rest of your life. So I do believe that body positivity, it's a great thing if we channel it in the proper way. Like we're focusing on people who don't have legs or don't have arms or born without an eye. Like all this stuff is like those people truly need to be encouraged to find ways where their difficulties can be not only acknowledged, but we can create a society where those people are able to be equal in a way. Like for example, if a guy or a woman doesn't have legs, let's create elevators or ramps for them to move along. They can go up the stairs. Well, here's a ramp, here's an elevator, and stuff like that. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that the actual body positivity, but not this. Like this ain't like you're just encouraging a behavior that it's not good for them. It's not good for anybody. And yeah. This video is kind of short. I kind of stop on that. So yeah, that's my thoughts, and just gonna leave you to it. What are your thoughts in the comments? Just leave it on the comments. Let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm right, and yeah. Bye.